Alright, this is my favorite part. This is actually fun. We're going to tie some jigs. Now I've got two of these lead heads here. If you watched the movies before, I've got a pink and I've got an orange. Now my mold spits these things out with a little barb. Now when I first started fishing, I didn't throw anything but plastic. So I bought something that had a barb on it to hold my plastic. But somewhere along the way, probably 2 years ago, I started tying. And if you want your jigs to come out uniform, you need to remove that barb or get you a mold that spits them out this way. It's not a big deal. I use some clippers. I get these at Walmart. And while I'm on the topic of Walmart, I like to use material that I can get my hands on easy. I use threads from Walmart. There's an orange. They've got Sky's the Limit. Green, chartreuse. A little bit of shiny silver. They've got gold. I like to duplication here. I like to use materials I can get my hands on. Even the feathers. They've got a package of, I've got some marabou here. This did not come from Walmart. But I've got all kinds of colors. Black, gray, white, pink, yellow chartreuse, green chartreuse. I've got bucktails. I've got a real bucktail. And then I've also got these little little feathers from Walmart. They've got green, they've got pink. And it comes in a little bag. They work pretty good. I'm not going to lie. So I'm going to go ahead and use the pink. Let's start with pink. Get it clamped in. Now I'm gonna mention those guys out there that's part of the paper lip mafia. You're gonna look at my little jig vise here and you're gonna make fun of it. Well, that's okay. It's junk. I know it's junk. It doesn't rotate. It doesn't have a little thing out here to rest your line out of the way. But when I went and bought this thing almost 2 years ago, if not more than that, I don't know. I'm forgetful. Maybe a year and a half. I don't know. I didn't know what I needed. I went to Bass Pro Shop. They had one. I got it. But after you do this for a while, you need to make your life as easy as possible. Get one that rotates. Get one that holds your string out of the way. Make your life a whole lot easier. Junk. All right, here we go. Got a feather. I've got tons of them on my desk, but I'm going to start with one that just out of the bag at Walmart. Looks like this. Clip the end of it off. I never tie with that piece. I just throw that away because if you close that up, that's what your tail's gonna look like. It looks chopped off on the end. It just won't close up. It's just not gonna flow through the water pretty good. Now I could clip it some more and make it look like that. And I could close that up. That's getting there. a little bit better, but I start down a little bit. I start with something like this. Now, I generally like the fuzzy stuff. You can see that feather's getting to me. I usually start with the fuzzy. Now you can, this would be a pretty good jig here, this straight feather. That would make a pretty good tail. I'll tell you what, let's just go with it. I'm going to clip that stem just a little bit till I'm left with something like that. It's got a little bit of fuzz, a little bit of straight. That's going to be a pretty good tail. I've got my bobbin. I've got several of these bobbins. It's pretty neat or pretty convenient. The more of these bobbins you have, the better your life's going to be. I would like to get to a point where I have a bobbin for each color, but for now I've just got a few. I'm going to start, go around the head, go all the way down, just stop short of almost to your point of your hook. I don't go any further than that, and I really don't quite make it to the point. If you go past that, your body ends up being long. It's not really proportional. I don't think the crappie care, but you know, if people is going to be looking at these, if you're going to be looking at them, they may as well be neat. So this is going to be my stopping point on every pass up and down this jig. I'm going to go back up to the top and stop. Now let's put this feather on here, this tail. Remember, that's what it looked like. Still got a piece of the stem in it. I'm going to grab it like that, butt it up against the head of my jig. Now I've done this a bunch, and you didn't pay attention to me, but I've already sized this jig up. I already know how long this jig is. I don't want it too long. I personally don't tie anything over 2 inches. In the winter, I even get it shorter than that. But that is just under a 2-inch jig. That's going to be just about right. All right, I usually like contrast in my jigs. Normally I wouldn't put a pink tail on a pink head, but I'm fixing to have enough contrast in my body because I've already decided what color I'm going to use, and I've already decided the what little flash I'm going to use. Get a piece of it. Got a piece of flash here, and all it is a piece of shiny ribbon. When I'm looking at it outside of this camera, it's mainly chartreuse. It's got some golds in it. It's got all kinds of colors in it, but really chartreuse is the bulk of what you're getting back, and you're getting hints of it there in the camera. That would be a good one to use, but like I said, I don't like to tie a jig same color. Now there's a color or two, and I'll do my orange one solid. There's some colors that you can do that way. I personally like a lot of contrast. Since I've got a pink head on this one and a pink tail, from here on out I need to use something that's really going to pop. It's really going to stand out. So instead of using that little flash I showed you, I'm going to use stuff like this. Now this is a green chartreuse. You're seeing a lot of the black flake in this critter leg, but what you're not seeing, what the camera is not seeing, is the sparkles in this. This has some pretty cool sparkles in it. I wish you could see them. And if you'd quit looking at my shirt and what it says about a mom, you could probably see them, but you're not. You're looking at my shirt. See them? You can see a little bit of them. But that camera shot does not do this justice. But it's really, this leg is really going to stand out on this jig. All right. I'm just going to half it. See, I've got it wrapped around my string. So I'm going to go down that jig and stop where I've been stopping. And go all the way back up top. And I'm going to clip it. Now look at that. We've got two little critter legs hanging off this jig. Now this jig is on the edge of getting too long. So I'm going to trim those legs up just a little bit. I like a small profile bait. The way these electronics are today, live scope, the new things that these other companies are making that's similar, you can put a jig right on the end of a crappie's nose. And sometimes they just need to have time to get aggravated, and they'll eventually stick it in their mouth. Maybe. All right, body we're going to use on this, a good traditional color to pair up with pink, the green chartreuse. It's got a lot of flake in it. Another green chartreuse. I've got tons of green chartreuse. I'm looking for something that'll really stand out, something that will really contrast that color I've already got. Let's use this woolly booger. This is a chartreuse woolly booger. It's got a bunch of pearls in it. I mean, that thing's extremely bushy. Kind of like that beard. I don't use that a whole lot, but it's good on some lakes. I use a smaller top body on the gray. But other lakes that shall remain unnamed, where it's extremely muddy, I might use something that thick profile there will give you just a little more vibration in water, and it's really going to stand out against this pink that I already have laid out. Go down, go up. I wish I had a vise that wasn't junk. I would really be going to town right now. But I'm having to be careful and not twist this. I've got somebody coming in the door. I'm going to have to put you on pause just for a second, I think. But I'm going up this jig head, up next to this jig head. And hang on just a second. All right. Sorry about that. So I've made it up to my jig head here. Now I don't like everybody's got a different way of doing things. This is just the way that I do it. I like to leave my jig head plenty of room. I'm petting my jig. I like to leave it a lot of room, so I'm not going to crowd it. I could go again, but I'm really going to lose sight of my head if I do that. So I'm going to catch both sides of this. Catch both sides a couple of times. Now it'll stay put for now. My dog's trying to get me to throw the ball. Okay, I'm going to trim it up just a little bit. This is another time I wish this junk rotated. Next time I go to Bass Pro Shop, I'm going to get me one though. Might even order me one, I don't know. But it's served its purpose, I've said that, but it's been pretty, it's made quite a bit of jigs, so I guess I can't complain. A little more trim. All right, go around a few more times. Get my finisher here. And we are going to wrap this puppy up. Go about 7 times. You can go more. You can do it multiple times. I have fished with one exactly like this on a lake, and we were having a really good day. We caught a ton of fish. I had another fisherman with me, and we had a 2-man limit of fish, and we were fishing in open water. Crappie are rough on these things, but using this material I could get my hands on, and I haven't sealed it yet, but I'm about to. They were durable enough to last all day. If I was fishing a place that had a lot of structure, I would have probably lost 4 or 5 of these. But fishing open water, I mean, we're talking about catching 30 fish or more on a single tie. So this Walmart stuff will work. And I've got the real stuff. This is the real fly head cement and the fancy applicator that it goes with. But this stuff at Walmart, this clear fingernail polish, it's handy, and it works. It's doing what I'm asking it to. I'm going to. I'm not done yet. Yep, I tied it. So I'm going to clip it, and then I'm going to seal it. I'll do it on the top. I'll do it on the bottom. This is another time where it would have been handy if this vise would have rotated, but it doesn't because it's junk. This stuff dries pretty clear. I'm really happy with this little clear Walmart fingernail polish. Those crappie will really put a beating on these jigs, and they have remained strong. I've been very pleased with them. Now you're looking at it. Most of the time when a crappie looks at this thing, he's going to be under it, and he's going to be looking up at it, and that's what it's going to look like to him. Most of the time. Alright, let's see how far. We're at 20 minutes. Gosh, dog it. Alright, let's do one real quick. I'm going to do an orange one for one of my paper lip mafia homies. Orange head. Get the knot out of my bobbin here. Start. Go down to the point or just short of it. Go back up. trim. I'm going to use an orange tail. Get me a fresh feather here. It's a little long. I'm going to trim it up just a little bit. And if you don't go too tight down it on your first run, I mean, if you grab it too tight, it'll pull up and it'll want to stand up. So be easy on that first pass, and then after that you can cinch it down. We'll use a different flash real quick. I should have used what was on the table. This is some chartreuse flash, not the critter legs that we did earlier, just to be different. It's got a lot of orange and chartreuse. Looks pretty cool. We're going to use this orange for the body. It's got a lot of pearls and stuff in it. It's got a lot of pearls and stuff in it. Sorry, another interruption. This orange head on orange body on orange tail doesn't quite have the contrast that I like. But if I'm going to build a solid color jig, orange is the perfect color to do that with. Be careful not to twist. You want those materials on this body to stand out. Go around both sides. Sure wish my vise rotated, but it doesn't. Junk. Let's finish it. Seal it. All right, pretty. Turned out pretty good. 25-minute video. The hemostats here. I want to show it to you. Pretty cool bait. It'll work. All right. I hope you guys enjoyed that. See you soon.